Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Audire Astra for another Genshin Impact stream. Hello, Cole, Fatanashi, Wraith, Tommy. I'm glad you all could be here today. So, we're here to play Genshin Impact, but before we start doing that, hi J-Wing, welcome aboard. Before we start playing Genshin, I wanted to do a little segment where I explain, hang on, let's go on to the other one. I want to explain this. This was trending on Twitter a few days ago. Unfortunately, it was more like a one-day wonder, so it's not really too topical anymore. So this is the portal trolley problem, and it was a lot of takes on this that well, one post I read was definitely the dumbest thing I read all week. I can safely say that now that the week is almost over. Yeah, so technically it's both depending on what part. No, Cole. It is. There is a correct answer to this. So for those who haven't seen it before, I'm going to give you the 5 seconds, and then I'm going to tell you the answer. The answer is B. And I'm going to prove it to you. And then I'm going to explain why it's B. Alright, so first off, I want you to imagine the situation is reversed. So let's say that the trolley is going in this direction. The screenshot, yeah. Okay, so it's going in the opposite direction. We'll draw some speed lines on the trolley to make it obvious. And then imagine that you are going to jump into the blue portal. So you're going to jump into the blue portal and come out of the orange portal on the trolley. So, if that is the case, which of these do you think you'll A, plop down onto the tracks safe and sound while the trolley zooms off without you? Or B, will you come out moving at the same speed as the trolley and then you hit the ground at 50 miles an hour, tumble around and die? You might think it's so cold. You're saying it's A? No. It's B. It is B. And I can prove there's a scene in this game that proves this. Oh wait. I don't have the audio for this, do I? Let me add an audio source. Okay, so why does this scene prove that the answer is B? Because the moon is moving. I know you might not think of it, but the moon is moving relative to the surface of the Earth very fast, at like several thousand miles an hour. The moon in this scenario is basically a giant trolley in space. Isn't this supposed to be the airflow? Yes, that's the point. So, Cole, if it were A, what would be happening is that you come out of the portal and stationary relative to the surface of the Earth, and then the moon zooms off at several thousand miles an hour, you would be gone, okay? Like, there would not be a chance to grab onto Wheatley here. You would be moving so much faster the moment you step out the other end of the portal. Instead, Shell is moving at about the same speed she is when she goes into the portal. And that's because when she comes out of the other end of the portal, she is moving at the same speed relative to the moon, or the portal on the moon. The moon gives her its velocity when she comes out of the portal on the moon. Her motion is therefore only due to the air relative to the moon and the Earth. And that's how portals work. First off, this shuts down the people whose answer is, oh, you can't put a portal on a moving object, case closed. Yes, you can. There's another scene in the game where you do exactly that without, on the same planet, within the confines of aperture. But yes, this proves that the answer is B. If we go back to this, if you come out of the portal on the trolley, just as you do on the moon, you come out moving the same speed as the trolley. So then you hit the ground at 50 miles an hour and break your skull. Would all portals on the American technically to be moving object than due to Earth's move? Exactly, Arc. Here's the thing. Here's why the portal does this. Or here's why your motion, this is why it works. Everything is moving. The Earth is not special. Okay? The Earth is not stationary. The Earth moves around the Sun moves around the Milky Way moves in the local group, the local group moves in the Virgo supercluster, the Virgo supercluster moves up in the universe. Everything in the universe is moving. There is no such thing as stationary, or rather, stationary is just a point of view, or if you want to use the scientific term, it is a frame of reference. And Einstein's big revelation is that all frames of reference are valid. There is no absolute frame of reference. Everybody is correct. If you are on the moon, you can say that the Earth is moving. If you are on the and you're stationary. If you're on the Earth, you can say that you're stationary and the moon is moving. If you're on a trolley, you can say that you are stationary and the Earth is moving. If you are on the Earth, you can say that you are stationary and the trolley is moving. It does not matter. Okay? So, it does not matter if the trolley is coming to you or you are coming towards the trolley. For example, if we imagine I obliterated the Earth and everything in the universe so that the only thing left in the entire universe is you and the trolley, is there any way to tell if the trolley is coming towards you or you're coming towards the trolley? There isn't. They are both exactly equivalent. And that is the core of relativity. Well, that and the speed of light being equal on all reference frames, but that is not a discussion for this streams. So the correct answer is B, because there's no such thing as stationary. Everything is moving, and the only thing that matters is how you are moving relative to the portal. The portal gives you its velocity because your motion is relative to the portal, and that's the only thing that matters. And that's why the answer is B. And if you still disagree, you are dumb, and I give you the dumb award. All right. With that said, let's go to Genshin. Oh, it's not capturing. Oops.
This scenery is wonderful.
Oh, why is it not
Enough to
working?
convince anyone to become a wanderer.
I spent all that time setting up my explanation and then just forgot to actually set up Genshin, apparently. Oh, now we need Tommy in the other corner. Here. There. Tommy's still doing his duty. It might be a... Don't pick up dunce hat. Might be a double... What? What are you talking about, Cole? I wish I knew other VTubers that knew physics. That would be fun to do collabs talking about physics. Okay, Archon class. I'm proud of myself. I did that in only 10 minutes. In less than 10 minutes. Like I said, the wait, is the stream working? YouTube is telling me my stream status is poor. Guys, let me know if you're having trouble. Oh, sorry, you getting audio? Do I have my audio? Yeah. Oh, yep. Audio should be working. The only poor thing here is you. No, Cole's also pretty poor. Also, Tommy, you just got considerably richer yesterday, so don't complain too much. Yeah, anyways, so that's the big secret to the universe, guys. Nothing stationary is just a point of view.
Traveler in Paimon. Good to see you. I knew you.
Tommy hit the lottery. No, yesterday was Tommy's birthday, and a lot of people on his stream gave him birthday money.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means
is it just me, or
perfect chance for us to take you to the
this
best
the room seems a little foggy?
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
No, I think it seems like a bloom effect to me, not depth of field.
There's no need.
I mean, there is depth of field, but the fog I think is from bloom.
Hey, Lenny, could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a...
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats.
I'm just waiting for the crime to be committed, or someone to be falsely accused of a crime. And I'm sure it'll happen. I'm assuming it'll be the traveler getting accused, but could also be someone else. Oh wait, Child beat up someone. He beat up a bunch of people, so that's definitely right for a court case. Oh, it's Nouvelet, or however you pronounce his name. Nouvelet. Nouvelet? I don't know. Let's see how they pronounce it. Oh, he's just sleeping. What? Are you kidding me, guys? You're telling me you have to reserve your seats and this place is this empty? Wait, are you telling me Linny and Lynette's show has one audience member other than us who they specifically, Linny specifically invited us. And he only has one other audience member. Wow, he is not a very good magician, is he?
Strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. It's kind of
Oh, maybe we're just really early? Extremely super early? Isn't that usually your job, Paimon?
Of course you put this on Paimon.
No shit, Paimon. You're always the one doing the talking.
I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
So you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down.
Paimon, you have not kept your ears down a single time or you have not kept your voice down a single time in your life.
Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So, let's talk, but, what should we talk about?
Me when I try to say hi to another VTuber. And they say hi back.
Paimon's got it.
Oh, I should have screenshotted that. Darn it.
Are you a friend of Linny's too?
Okay, I'll have to find it later.
Friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linny would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second.
He just lives here. He just lives here in the opera house. He doesn't actually... Like, Nuvalet's technically just homeless. He just lives here on a permanent basis.
Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Wait, what did he say? What did you say? Norvalet? What? Monsieur Norvalet?
Ah, Mr.
What?
Linny. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be?
Norvalet? Hon? Norvalet?
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is.
Norvalet?
Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Meanwhile, the Archon is just like the symbol of, I don't know, brattiness.
Ooh, sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
Norman, he's no. You're not allowed to call the husbando Norman.
No offense.
His name may be silly, but that's still no excuse, Tommy.
What I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way,
He sits on a throne.
even though I would prefer
He has this
not to.
giant-ass throne in the center of the room. He's like, it's not so special, really.
There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive
Arlecchino?
first impression.
She's Archipelago. Tommy, that adds more syllables to her name.
So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face.
It's easier to spell and
No
remember.
idea that you saw right through her
It's
act.
not that hard to spell, Tommy. Arlecchino.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay
Did I get that
her any
right?
more attention.
Yes, I did.
Enjoy the show.
It's not that hard.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as.
Dude,
the
is his place
audience
in the
has
main
made
jet
their
doesn't
way
even
to
recognize.
their
No, he does recognize the Archon. He just, he doesn't respect the Archon.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before!
No one seems. Yeah. Oh, look! So there are people in the seats. Okay. Let me guess, he's gonna like appear in a poof.
Sorry, Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Aw, Paimon has such tiny hands.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star
Oh.
of today's show, Linny.
He just walks on stage, no poof.
And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Lynette sounds just so done with this.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the
Wait.
gods won't be able to help us.
You can't give away your vision though.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
You can't give away. Genshin, please. Stop violating your own lore.
Further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more
They're not
thing
giving
I
away-
should say.
No, but it's like it's established in Ketching's lore. Atanashi, yes, but it was established in Ketching's lore since Genshin 1.0 that so Ketching tried to keep getting rid of her vision. Like she kept like throwing away, giving away, and it would also always just appear back on her person. Like you can't get rid of your vision that way. Once this cutscene is done,
Never know what
I'll
can
go show you
happen
guys.
in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear.
The intention doesn't matter.
The
Cole.
possibilities are endless.
The point is like you can't. Your vision will always return to you, unless you're Raiden Shogun and have powers. I guess maybe it takes a while to work for the return to master function. That's the only way it makes any sense to me.
But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky.
Oh,
Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
is she gonna drown? That's like the classic. I mean, I don't think they'd actually just kill off Lynette like that.
It's actually quite simple.
Wait.
Just turn into air bubbles and
No,
float
wait.
right out of the top.
You can breathe underwater.
Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do.
I mean, that's like the classic. In the Prestige, that's what happened. Like the stage assistant, they did a water escape trick, and the assistant drowned and
Are
died.
you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Neat trick. Oh, she has her. Of course, Cole. Of course.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Paimon didn't see him do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
What a show.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance.
You telling me she had time to change too? She might not never have been in the tank in the first place.
But our magical
Or maybe, actually, I think the way they would do that in real life is you probably have two Lynettes.
For everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping
Yeah,
the
have a
water
double.
tank was impressive
You just have two
enough.
Lynettes.
But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make.
I mean, I don't really know how you
all
make the
preparation.
Lynette in the tank disappear, but I'm sure there's ways to do that. It might be like, so like, there might be like a corner of the tank. Because like the tank's not completely transparent, right? There's like things on it. So it might be like you can hide in the corner, like at the top or the very bottom.
So, for my next trick,
I don't know if,
require
obviously this is
participation of one lucky audience member.
not real. So you don't have to be able to physically do the trick.
Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only.
But like, it's like, I think there's one way you
One
could
is here,
do that.
and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure.
Well, I
many of
assume
our
there'd be like
clever
some safety
audience members
mechanism.
have
There'd be
already
like
guessed our next
an
magic trick.
air pocket in the tank too, so she'd be able to breathe.
Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now, please, everyone pay.
I mean, I know I've definitely seen magic tricks where it's just like,
Don't give me any
I
chance to
have
think of
not the slightest idea how they managed to pull that off.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks?
Like,
Or does Lenny
there
have
actually was a
superpowers?
period of time where I watched a lot of Penn and Teller videos. So Penn and Teller, they're like 2 magicians, and then they have this show called like Fool Us, where they just invite magicians from around the world to perform, and like some of the performances were like, okay, I see. I don't know how exactly they did it, but I think I can kind of get some ideas on some of it, and some of the tricks are just like, I think he just broke the laws of physics.
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, Let's begin.
Oh, so this is a classic. Usually when magicians do this, it's not at all random. They've managed to pre-select the audience member. Or I shouldn't say usually. Sometimes it actually is random, and the trick just doesn't actually depend on the audience members'
Congratulations! You now have a chance
members'
to
participation.
experience magic firsthand
But
for an entire minute.
also, sometimes they do this, but it totally is pre-selected,
Come forward.
and the
My
audience member isn't
assistant
on
will
it.
take you beside the magic box.
Oh yeah, it's still cool to watch.
I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as
The
comfortable as
concrete
possible.
crushed the coffin, and there were proper rescue procedures, and he died. Oh yeah, being a escape artist in particular is very dangerous.
You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the fortress of Meripede.
The what?
Okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when
You want to
time
move
is
around
up.
him?
Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that.
I'm sure Liney.
No, that
Yeah,
won't do.
no way he says that without
See
being
it in your
prepared.
eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59.
No, even worse.
58.
You end up in the back rooms, but a perfect clone of Tommy just replaces him in the real world, so no one even knows you're gone.
60, 59, 58.
That's right, perfect.
The crowd's
Keep it
really
going.
high pitched.
All right,
Wow.
I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52. Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is.
Oh my gosh, that's literally what I'd be doing.
Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not
Oh,
worry about
I definitely need to roll for him
Just
now.
enjoy
All right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling
He
uncomfortable
feels
or
like
something.
he feels like Hydro all hype him to an extent.
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all.
I think it's just all part of the show. It's definitely just all part of the show.
What was that noise? Did you hear it too?
Maybe it was just to divert our attention.
Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it. 25, 24, 23.
What's wrong, Mr.
You've had dreams like that before, where your copy was actually the real physical me in the real world and you were sort of in an out-of-body state?
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable.
Uh-oh.
I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting? 19, 18, 17. It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time. 10! Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
Nuvula is jolly but not
Hey,
broke.
slow down! Honestly!
5, 4, 3.
Whoops! That doesn't count!
Oh, that's a neat trick. Yep, exactly what I thought it would be. That's a neat way to spice it up. Tommy, stop simping. Pull out of it. What? Oh, wasn't expecting that. Oh. So that's how we get crimes involved.
Is this part of the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
I don't think he is.
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the god of justice.
Shut up, Farina. Someone slapped this girl.
You two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough.
Luminescent? Oh no. The third
the person
Liddy
who's in the
twin.
magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage.
That's a little sus.
As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances
Oh,
case?
oh boy. The serial killer.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
And to pull it off like this, in front of an audience including the Archon and Chief Justice.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing.
Shut up, Farina. You don't know shit. I know this girl does not know shit.
I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime
This girl does not
suspect
know
in the
shit.
serial disappearances case.
I knew it. Someone slap her.
This whole thing was an accident.
Wait, weren't the serial disappearances? It's like 100 years old. Lenny's not even that old.
All occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not?
That doesn't make any sense. What motive would he have
Now that I think about
to
it,
kill his own assistants?
about magicians making things disappear.
Oh my gosh.
More than a provocation of
That can't be right. How can Lenny do this?
Yeah, Paimon, how could Lenny do this?
He was on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
By the way, where did
Save
Lynette go?
discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Lenny and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he. Well,
I knew it. This girl does not know
talk about
crap.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense.
Shut up. Shut up, woman.
Personally delivered justice.
Shut up, woman.
A
You
kidnapping
dumb.
and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady
You're also dumb.
said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people.
Oh my god, they're all so stupid.
But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the
She's gonna be so embarrassed at the end of this, isn't she?
I mean you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who...
Wait, we're being tapped to be Liddy's lawyer? I mean, I guess you gotta be the protagonist somehow, but like, shouldn't Liddy be hiring a lawyer? Do they not have lawyers in Fontaine?
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met.
No, I didn't. You just walked away.
With Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grand...
Okay, traveler, time to speed read some Fontaine law books.
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is...
Well, it's a good thing we're already in the courtroom.
Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you...
We could use Yanfei. Yanfei is trained in leeway law. I don't think she would
Does Mr. Linney's attorney...
like to be tapped for a Fontaine court case. Yes, I... What if Liddy's just over here like, are you guys crazy? I'm getting my own lawyer. Why are you just choosing this random person who... She's been in Fontaine for like a day. She doesn't know shit about our legal system.
The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to...
Oh my gosh.
search for the truth.
This is some scuffed legal proceedings.
Linney and his troop are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House.
You guys don't have a prison? You just hold your criminals in the courtroom?
Audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot Outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Well,
I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
the one saving grace here is the prosecution is Farina, and since she is a moron, it shouldn't be that hard to win.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer? Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting
I mean, if I'm your lawyer, I'm your lawyer. It doesn't matter if I believe you.
I'm sure everyone sees me as the
Lawyers
biggest
defend people we know are guilty
but if
all the time.
the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And
Whole
I
system
don't
is
know
un-
why poor Cal was in
Cool.
the
The
box.
problem isn't that the system is unfair. The problem is that the system is just really inept. It's just really
As for
poorly
how
set up.
that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to.
Why
figure
is the
out
cage
who.
suspended from a rope anyways? Like,
Even a skilled
why?
and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Yes, it is very strange.
We need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been
Oh no.
impossible.
No. Oh no. Are we gonna have Detective Paimon?
The one we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry. Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Where do you get savings, Paimon?
You have good taste.
How the heck? Where does Paimon get money from?
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence.
Oh, I just remembered. I forgot to put on my glasses during the whole lecture. I should have done that.
Good thing you agreed to be
Okay,
our
well, I
attorneys.
know it's too late. I'll just put them on now while we're doing detective work.
Yes, thank you so much.
Wow. Lynette, don't sound too excited now. It's just your brother's freedom on the line.
Where did Lynette go?
Does Fontaine have the death penalty? Possibly his life?
Well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing
Oh,
our
thanks,
secrets will
guys.
help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case!
We're doomed.
Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
We're Liddy and Lynette's attorneys.
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned.
You know, in real life, attorneys aren't allowed to do their own investigations.
Avoid getting
I'll just point out,
and you'll see.
point that out.
The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he had no
Destroys every argument,
his
or no
heart,
you.
and everyone generally liked him.
I'll shove your head up your butt. That will destroy your argument.
The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience,
No,
the
Cole.
water tanks
Absolutely not.
and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
Bonk. But why was Cowell inside?
We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident.
We're not saying it's an accident.
The logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
I mean, any of his assistants would have.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but
A day?
each other for
A day?
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys.
I mean, he didn't really convince us.
I know
The Archon did.
is magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
I mean, that's true. But your case is also pretty weak.
I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good.
Audire, why my purple rose growing and shrinking randomly? So it's supposed to grow and shrink when I change expressions, and the expressions are triggering
Come up with some new
a
evidence.
bit. It's a bit sensitive. I need to calibrate it a little better. You can use case record to confirm your current evidence, include collections and case-related information. Oh my gosh, how much work is this going to be? So for example, like if I be surprised, the rose shrinks. Also, like if I get angry, Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. I thought I fixed this setting. But oh, this setting did not save. Sad. There. That should fix it a little bit. Okay. I need to figure out why this doesn't save. Anyways, okay. Back to the game. If Cal was inside, he might have dodged the falling water tank. Examine white line. Examine damaged magic box. The broken magic box was left on the scene. Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard. Oh my. Are we just doing like the most obvious things in the universe here? Okay, so none of these are like actual clues.
So
Oh, this seems like...
the broken the rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly?
Yeah, that's an obvious point. Or
Why are you suddenly
it was
so
probably
traveler?
cut. I'm just looking at where the rope snapped.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
Seems to be flammable.
So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material...
It was meant to burn and
Why
break.
don't you write all this down? Let's take notes.
I mean, that points to it not being an accident. Oh, that's still not one of the 3 clues? Huh. Where do they want me to go? Can I go? I mean, like, where was that tank even? Where was that tank even? Oh, okay, so they're actually marked on the minimap? Sorta. I mean, yeah, well, we should check out the other box. An ordinary box, but Lenny's hand moves instantly from the stage to being inside of it. How do we do it? How? Where are these objective markers pointing? Okay, so I should stay here then. Okay. Does the rope doesn't count as a clue? I am baffled.
Go ahead, have a look around.
Oh, wait, no, I need to find 3 things. Don't I? Okay. I think I get it. I think I get how the objectives are working now. Damage magic box. Imagine white line. What else is there to investigate here? There's another room, you say? Where? Oh, back here? No. Nothing here. If you say so.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone...
Can't talk to these people. Oh. Oh.
Hey, you!
Cutscene?
Yes, both of you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken,
Oh.
those who wish to cut down the thorns
It's her.
and pursue the truth. No. Looks of it, you're not
A-tier
from-
waifu.
Right on the more about that one, but who are you?
I forget her
Never
name.
heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes
Top
and
tier
providing
waifu.
protection to solving conundrums, you name it.
Is she a
Spina di Rosula
professional
does it.
detective?
And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
Oh.
And I'm Melus.
She's apparently
Demoiselle's
important.
various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
Your previous title was boss?
My apologies, demoiselle. Should you prefer,
Oh.
I will endeavor
Oh. She was calling her Desmoselle.
No need.
What does Desmoselle mean?
Just Navia is fine.
A small, graceful, old world crane. A damselfly. Especially of the genus. Oh, okay. It's like a bird or a crane. Is it a bird? Is it a crane?
If you say so.
Or no, is it an
Not that we're
insect or a
members of
crane?
Spina di Rosula anyway.
Second generation just makes me think she's an android. Tommy, that's not the only thing that generation applies to. She wears a little too much makeup for my liking,
Kept an eye on the serial
but otherwise her design is definitely top tier.
interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did
She
you
does
know
wear
that?
too much. Oh, you mean in terms of makeup.
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. For
Well, that's
reasons
not
which
helpful,
pulled
girl.
her finger on Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
Yes, because she's an idiot.
That's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away.
All the characters in the Hydro Nation have insane trips, it all makes sense.
A trial begins the moment someone levels charges.
Oh no, she's definitely adult lady model.
Marina was going to
Those
pass
hips
on
don't
in that
lie.
situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Why would you trust her, Paimon?
What's
Why
your
would anybody trust her?
I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Well, when you put it like
I
that.
answered your question. Now it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute. Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And
Not
what would that
always.
be?
Something serious like a trial shouldn't be treated like entertainment. Judge Judy and all those shows are doing that one meme where it's like with the eyes. You know that meme?
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our
Malus sounds like an insult.
commence.
Bring in the dancing. What?
Be my assistants.
Why would there be dancing lobsters?
We become assistants.
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like.
Okay, I like her.
Not that fussy.
Good. Don't need fussy woman. Seems like you've already agreed then.
But I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
Has anyone seen the project? I did see the Project Mugen trailer. People keep comparing it to Spider-Man, but it actually reminds me more of Prototype in terms of the movement.
I have nothing to add.
I guess Spider-Man is more recent.
Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lenny's tricks.
Okay, so I assume now we can actually go up, find all the clues. Does this door open? Yes, it does. Is there anything up here? No. We just go back here and look over? Nope. Nothing changes? Well, that's not helpful. So there's 1, 2, 3 things here. And the only other thing I can think of to investigate here is the box. Did I talk to the popo? Yeah, I talked to the guy. I can't climb the stage. Aw. Do I need to talk to all of them? Oh, there's a cutscene here.
Investigation team has some new find.
See?
Random number selector?
What if the machine picked some big guy?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lenny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a In other words, Lenny knew.
That much checks out.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lenny.
That's not number 3. What about you? What do you have to say?
Oh, this location has also been court. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself.
A painter? Oh, an artist.
At the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
What, not being related to the magic troupe?
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thanks for letting us know all this.
If you do happen, it is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Okay, do we have an... Okay, we have 1 out of 3. We have found all the information here, at least. Or not. Never mind. It doesn't work the way I thought it did. Alright, let's see if we can talk to any of the other guards here. You have nothing for us? We already talked to that guy. We already talked to this guy.
Go ahead, have a look around.
Well, at least he's nice about it. You don't have anything to say? You don't have anything to say? You don't have anything to say? You have words above your head.
Investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, all right?
Why would I do that?
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
Oh yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
It might have been the fireworks going off to set off the rope.
Accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
And wouldn't the water tank have started to swing a bit in that case?
I suppose...
I mean, I assume it was just like he set off a bomb to set the rope on fire. Strange sound. You talk to that No. I thought this would be more investigating clues and less talking to people. So I haven't really been talking too much. Now I'm going to start talking over people. They don't talk. They don't talk. They don't talk. What about you? What do you have to say for yourself, Navia?
Speaking of that, I think magic show.
I can see that. Maybe I should try to learn.
What's
some
poison?
If I could make things disappear, cleaning my room would be a sin.
You need not worry about such things, demoiselle. That falls under my duty.
Like, really? If someone like her has to clean her own room?
Right.
Oh, I like her boots. Those are some nice boots. Thigh-high boots are pretty great. Aww.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter.
You're a police officer?
No, were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
Opportunity then,
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time, I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to.
Would you though? Maybe you fell asleep. Maybe you weren't paying attention.
Sort of thing, you know.
If you say so.
Safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here.
I don't trust her. She might be cute, but she's still a police officer. Can't trust them.
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion.
Oh, that's it? That's all 3 clues?
Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting in.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
AMAB, all Melusines? It's not all Melusines, it's all guards. So it's a gab.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
What? What does that mean? Is she like the head of a mercenary group? Did I completely misunderstand what her job is?
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Is she not the mob? Oh, is she? She's the mafia?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on
I mean, usually more
large
the
scale.
Italians associated with mobs, not the French.
Appreciate your kind interest.
I mean, the mafia. The French are very much associated with mobs, but more in the angry mob sense, not the organized crime sense.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
Back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board.
That seems like an oversight.
Put two and two together, what do you get?
There's another box.
Exactly.
Yeah, I figured that.
All right, let's go.
But I mean,
I'll tell you how it works
you
as we
should
head down.
obviously, if you want to keep the trick, this inside of the second box should look the same as the outer box. Otherwise, people will catch on.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box.
And this passage linked the two boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The two magic boxes are positioned right above the two entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can
Must be a
raise and
very
lower and
fast
rotate,
trolley
ensuring
then.
the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes, a phonograph
I knew it. I knew there'd be a recording.
My assistant and
I don't think I said it out loud, but I was just thinking like this could just be a recording.
I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back
But,
of the
well, then I think the reason I didn't say it is that he then appeared out of the box
Oh,
and then swapped and then did the swap like a second
That's how
later.
we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
Oh, so she did use a double.
All it takes is a change of clothes, and no one can tell who's who.
Linny, I think Lynette has some assets.
And that's
It's not
my
not
favorite
quite
part
the
of this
same.
trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked. Wow, every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last.
Oh, that explains why where Lynette went.
Lynette would
At
briefly
least.
walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping
Some
before
padding,
the
a bit
box
of
on the trolley
foundation.
could finish ascending.
Tommy, that works if Linny is trying to look like Lynette. That doesn't work if Lynette is trying to look like Linny. Also, you know, the fact that Lynette has like cat ears and a tail, that's kind of hard to hide. And Linny doesn't. At the very least, he doesn't have a tail.
And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our
No, Tommy, why would you think that? It's literally the opposite in this context.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Can you blame? Yes, I can. It should be the control device for the trolley. It's able to operate automatically. This is a ladder.
Looks like a hook.
Oh, a grappling hook.
The end of a rope.
We didn't mention this earlier.
A prop for a different trick. But
Or the criminal used it.
Let's make a note of it first.
A broken vase?
Is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Maybe it was for a trick?
It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear.
Oh, that's like a super easy trick.
And here's a broken vase.
That's just, you just have like a special jug
Now while moving?
with like 2 chambers. That's super easy.
Tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Investigate clothing. Oh.
Oh,
Who wears this?
clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
Oh. That's NPC clothes?
But she's nowhere to be found.
Looney didn't mention the guest having a wardrobe change.
Do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
Wait, when did Paimon's glasses get this swirly?
This is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Yeah, Paimon's brain is too small to be a detective. Strange boxes. The trolley is crucial. The culprit must have used it to execute their plan. Investigate? Oh, there's a vent. Looks like a vent.
Someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that go through the magic boxes.
You're right. Let Paimon write that down.
No. No. Bad call.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
Tommy, you should have done that while he was still in the middle of it. That would have been much funnier. if he hadn't actually been able to complete it.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a
Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way I can untimeout him before the time is up, so we'll just have to wait it out.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels
I don't trust them.
secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
It would seem, though. It would seem so. I can speak.
Poultry's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will
This is
too.
how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened.
Boys, do you trust your fate to the AI?
To finish speaking,
Do you want to replace all our judges with AIs?
this too will be used by the Oratrice as a reference.
Judge GPT dealing out sentences.
The Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
So then if the Oratrice makes the judgment and the sentence, then like Nouvelet isn't really a judge. He's just like he's more just like a showman. He's just there to manage the proceedings. He doesn't actually make any of the decisions.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
Well, so we gotta sleep here overnight?
Ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, there's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course.
Good
I
question.
hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards. No.
Aw, now we gotta eat French food.
Findings together here. Pity.
I really like the ribbons on her boots. I might steal that for a future
I
design.
mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Wow.
But how?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
I mean, even if you can cook, what ingredients are you going to?
You're carrying a portable stove with you?
Did I have to make it so long? What?
Yes.
Make what?
Prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever
Oh.
fancy strikes her.
I can't set how long the timeout is, Cole.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds.
I just hit the put user in timeout button and it does whatever time it wants.
Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
Where did she get this?
Quite the interesting group.
Ooh, macaroons. I've always wanted to try one. I've never had one. I wonder if the French bakery across the street has these. I should go check tomorrow.
Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself, beating the egg whites, grinding almonds.
So she just carries cooking equipment and ingredients to make macaroons at any given time?
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway.
Macarons can crack?
Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
A lawyer asked ChatGPT to help them put together their case. Oh yeah, I read about that.
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a
Because
sugar-rush,
unlike the
would you?
lawyer, the judge actually did read everything the lawyer wrote.
Ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite.
Oh, you went in on her legs for no reason? What do you mean, no reason? What's wrong with going in on her legs?
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
What do you mean, no reason?
Alright then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
We're left with 2 other people, the missing girl and the
The
deceased.
thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists.
None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person, but the only people left...
Nah, there's no way Nervalet
technically
is evil. He's definitely a good guy.
Halsey or poor Cowl.
Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
So that just leaves Cowl.
From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great. They're nice,
Aww.
crisp, and
I want to try Navia's macarons.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've
The
already
girl
had
can
5
cook
of
too.
them.
What's not to love?
5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3.
So the cops can be evil, but not the judge? This specific judge can't be evil.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count.
Yeah, except for the fact that Cowell's dead. But maybe if Cowell faked his death somehow, that's what I'm betting on. We don't know what they did with the body.
Even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake.
Cowell. Cole, the person who died. His name was Cowell.
What are you doing?
They did not say anything about the body.
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's really no need to do that.
We don't want to trouble you.
mademoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Who? He was just a dude. He was a stage assistant who died.
That's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together.
Seems like we don't have a very good case. You only pay half attention to the story or keywords like legs and hips. Yeah, Cole, I know you're too busy playing Binding of Isaac or whatever. Or Minecraft. Or whatever silly little indie game. I do have some thoughts.
Possible things don't just happen.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
True. The one thing, our one saving grace is that the prosecution is stupid.
Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest,
Not great.
you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
This reminds me a bit of the movie My Cousin Vinny.
Thank you, Mr.
Isn't that the movie where they someone dies and they
Reset.
puppet his corpse around?
You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of
Oh, that's
course.
Weekend at Bernie's?
Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell.
What?
In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
And also, why is her dress open back? Usually let's have the dress zip up tight to the point you can't breathe. Huh?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
Are you still talking about Navia? I mean, so that's a misconception about corsets. You can... corsets don't stop you. Corsets only stop you from breathing if they are being worn improperly.
You didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Liddy not know about that sound?
Could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Uh-oh.
Look at those scales. Could those be...
They probably represent the oratress's stance on this trial.
Then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course,
It's okay.
I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
They're what?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
What?
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority...
I mean, the Fatui. What does the House of Hearth have to do with anything, though?
Sure, there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it.
Oh, is it gonna be that one puzzle with, like, the match?
My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting in Discord, I suppose.
Aw.
This was almost
She looks cute when she's happy, at least. Even though she's still stupid.
Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about Mitch's ability to con others. Given how Linny has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Uh-oh.
I knew it.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
In that case,
Whoops, I clicked too fast. I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
Wait, I don't remember the House of Hearth ever being brought up before.
Allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Kind of a job. We're not getting paid for this. I mean, it would be nice if we were, though.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry. Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Oh, it's the
Our organization
orphanage?
is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
That doesn't help, Lenny. You're just admitting to having. You're basically just admitted to having committed other crimes.
Please forgive us.
Lenny, that does not help your case. Explain the other issue first.
Of course. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Okay, so this is the reason why they couldn't admit what they were actually doing, is because that doing so would admit they were actually spies for an enemy nation, in which case, sure, they would be proven innocent of this crime and they would immediately be sentenced for being enemy spies.
Which should have been impossible, of course.
The only crime he's committed is he's literally a Fatui spy. He is he is guilty of espionage. He has just admitted it.
That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there
You can
wasn't time
spy.
to give it any thought.
Tommy, bonk. Stop simping.
The homicide
Bad.
occurred just as you saw.
You're turning into coal.
That explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
See, I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order
Why is
to
it bad?
manage
You're not
that
even horny?
prophesized crisis.
You call that? You say she can spy on me? You call that not horny, Tommy?
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth.
You mean like why you sleep? What, Tommy? What part of this makes you think that's better? What part of that makes you think this is better?
Proceed under this cloud of mistrust either.
Why can't Tommy not dig himself deeper? Challenge, impossible difficulty.
You can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
It's romantic, not hard. Oh, if you say so, Tommy. Having someone spy on you as you sleep is not romantic, okay? If you think that's romantic, you've got problems. You are sick in the head. I will defend you from these charges.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need. The German's almost over. Let's go back. Wait, so is he just going to admit to being a foreign spy? Tommy's digging his hole while simultaneously claiming he is no shovel or arms. Yeah.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off,
Tommy probably reads Twilight and thinks it's great.
therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use evidence and clues to tailor the Oh my gosh, it's Danganronpa. Literally just Danganronpa.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes
Why?
to prevent others from
What?
recognizing her.
Why would you use the vase to knock her out?
Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Wait, so where did the girl go?
And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the event?
Where did the girl go?
Is the order of events.
Are we just not going to bring up that this story has no explanation for where the girl went? Okay, that's not even an option? Okay. Like, it's a really bad argument. I just need to figure out how exactly do you want us to do it? No? What? Then he entered the tunnel.
According to Linny, he left.
So we're just gonna admit he was doing the spy thing? Okay, so was Linny really in the tunnel at the time?
Linny went to the room that contained.
I mean, we can't actually prove that.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation.
What? I mean, yes, you're saying these things, but it doesn't prove anything.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say.
None of this proves anything. What?
Go into the tunnel.
I don't. What is this logic?
Which is where once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident.
Huh? What? Okay. Okay. So what this tells me is I shouldn't really actually be using logic here. Spy might be less zenith than murder mystery. Generally speaking, no.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right.
When I said this is Danganronpa, literally Danganronpa, I didn't mean in terms of the quality of writing, or didn't want to mean. More, I believe my opposition's logic is flawed. The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Cowell bumped into Linny by chance.
Then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of...
See, okay, so this is a good point. This is a good point. But it wasn't brought up at any point. And also, like, the natural response to what Paimon said should be like, okay, wait, why was Linny down in the Orifice trick chamber? And then we'd have to go, like,
They have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
like, yes, Farina's argument is terrible.
Your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Linny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your claim has now become my weapon. Wait, what? What is the evidence that Linny wasn't in the tunnel when the crew...
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the...
But then, what? You should just ask, why was he in the basement?
His alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
Why are the dialogue choices part of each other?
Such logic.
It's Fate Grand Order does the same thing. It's like to give you the illusion of choice.
If it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The murderer was... Fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the prop, leading long into suspicion. Only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Blah, blah, blah. Who was the only person that could have committed such a crime?
Could there have been a third person involved? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Yeah, it had to be Cowell.
That can't be... The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so? How
Did he fake his death?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did...
Well, now this is the hard part.
From would-be perpetrator to victim.
He messed up.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Unable to interfere.
Linny was not in the tunnel.
So select clue.
The sound we heard may have come from a clap. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent.
Yeah, so I guess Cowell killed himself on accident. That'd be the only explanation.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances.
No? These two aren't good.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the deceased's name is Cowell.
No? I don't know what they want me to do with this. I know they're making it like impossible for you to fail at least. What? What? The colonel must have understood them. Oh, was that impossible to do? Was that how he died? The strange noise could have been the cowl of... What? So, wait, you can't fill out that fourth one? Or, oh no, they don't want you to fill out the fourth... Well, that's deceptive. According to the guard, that no one left her... Been no means of exiting.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems...
I mean, yeah, that's the question I've been asking from the beginning. Where did the girl go?
Since we're at a dead end, why, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this
Then
is a
she
magic
must
trick.
still be in the tunnel.
Real live person disappear, you know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Magic escaping from the water tank. Could have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house.
Did she escape through the water tank?
Delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Objection!
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. Which the sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Hall. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. No one entered or left. It would have been tough for both people to... The vase...
It has to be this, right?
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
She was turned into water? What?
Water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed...
Lynette wasn't literally transformed into water, was she?
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous...
You should let the VS... They should.
A person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cowell's personal effects.
Really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there.
I mean, there's no reason for us to not investigate. See, this is the first step. This is like one of the first things you should have done is investigate the deceased. This is why we do autopsies.
We haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope...
It's not broadening the scope of the investigation. It's the deceased is an important piece of evidence.
A reasonable request on the part of an
Shut up, Farina.
The trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse. I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
No one's done this before? No one's done this? No one went through the deads of the deceased effects?
That we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook.
My God, the nation of justice is pretty bad at just. This is, you know what? I'm gonna be real. This is actually the level of investigation I would expect out of real life police, based on personal experience. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on them.
The note's contents also indicate that
But it's still really bad.
That sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Wow, if you had just looked at his stuff in the beginning, you could have avoided all this.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword...
Based on personal experience, yeah, I've worked in forensics for a bit, and I can tell you, at least the local cops here, they do not try very hard when it comes to investigating death scenes.
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely
Wait, what?
Halsey was chosen as some sort of
So you can...
subject.
Oh, so they literally just dissolve people, and it only works on people from Fontaine?
This hypothesis is, in fact, supported.
The Fatui have just been coming to Fontaine and dissolving people? Holy shit. Wait, what's wrong with people from Fontaine? Are people from Fontaine just like, are they not even human? What?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
He doesn't have a hammer. He just slams his cane.
The deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the
Yeah, I told you. I think I mentioned on stream before. There was this one time, the cops reported that this one person that died, there was no evidence of a gun involved, and he had shot himself in the head with a shotgun, or it wasn't a shotgun. It was like it was a gun. He shot himself in the head, and the gun was still in his hand, and the cops just didn't see it.
Guards.
So like this is the level of investigation you can expect in real life.
Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
To be honest.
Speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this
They really put over. So I'll give the caveat. In that particular case, the deceased he'd been dead for a while, and he was rotting. So the cops probably didn't enter the room because of that, and so they didn't see anything because they never entered the room. But that's still all kind of a problem because you can't really investigate a crime scene, and you shouldn't really be reporting what you found during a crime scene when you never entered the room where the crime happened.
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial...
Thankfully, that's why we have forensic investigators who actually put in some effort into the investigation. And we at least here, we don't just leave it up to the cops. Who is the prime suspect?
Deceased's
Yeah, obviously, this guy.
The rope that strung the water tank up was
Oh, someone wants to join my world.
from the primordial sea should already. Lynette was in
What's
the
this?
box on. I remember there was something else.
This? No? Oh, the rope doesn't have anything to do with it?
Lynette was in the magic box on. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant.
Sounds like a job you can do. I mean, you could also try to become a cop, Cole.
In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
You wouldn't pass the academy?
To the box popped.
I mean, maybe not the physical portion, but I don't see you. Why not? Like, well, I mean, to say, like, the physical portion would be the only problem.
Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
I guess Farina's.
Contention remaining is the exact
You can forgive her because she's an idiot. But yeah, she should have looked at the deceased effects. I mean, we should have done that too. If we had just done that from the beginning, this farce would not have gotten as far as it went.
His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Hello, Werewolf Game. Welcome aboard. I'm Audire Astra, your Starship VTuber. Thank you very much for your well wishes.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they
Yeah.
uncovered new evidence.
It's... notice how nobody has yet asked what Lenny was doing down in the basement. He has no reason to be there to do the trick. He admitted to being there, and just no one's asking about it.
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
We were given technically we were given like 24 hours, which, yes, that's a really short time. But during that time, we should have looked. We should have done an autopsy. I mean, maybe not an actual autopsy, but at least go through the dead person's... You don't just assume the dead person is innocent.
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Lenny's personal effects.
What?
Oh, uh-oh.
I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counter.
That's a twist.
Only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt?
Yeah, it took them 10 minutes.
My dear citizens, my loyal
I mean, that doesn't... I mean, that's pretty damning, but that doesn't actually necessarily prove anything.
Lenny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave, having made modifications to the props beforehand. His accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lenny desired sole credit and prepared
That's really stupid. That's really stupid.
He knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of...
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look
But that's a terrible argument.
using the water as new evidence.
Like, the water doesn't prove anything.
I think we've all seen enough now,
What?
and we have ample
Oh my
witnesses.
god, I know this is not written. I know Genshin is meant for, you know, like teenagers.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on.
Permission to submit new
I
evidence.
have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like
What?
to take a little break from all this debate?
Navia, what? What are you doing?
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors,
Oh.
Mr. Linney, if you would be so kind.
I mean, if you can just bring back the victim, that would be pretty easy.
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
How did he get on stage? When did he get there? Why did no one stop him?
And stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila.
She was in the box all along.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about
What teen has enough money to whale?
true after all?
Well, here's the thing. Especially in Asia, there are a lot of children, very spoiled children of rich people who just spend, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on video games. And that is actually like the prime audience for these gacha games and like very predatory online MMOs that are extremely common in Asia.
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
What were the guards doing? Again, look at how useless the police are. How did the police not catch this girl?
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Oh, she's the pickpocket.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief.
Oh, I knew that would come back at some point.
That you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to catch me.
Can you imagine? So like the water only works on people from Fontaine. So from her perspective, it's just like this guy was like trying to do an experiment on her and like, change her into water. So then she just like, hey, why'd you splash water on me? And the guy must have been like, oh shit, what just happened? And she's like, why'd you splash me with water? He's like, you don't understand, that was supposed to dissolve you. Like, why would I dissolve? Oh my god, The situations is so funny. So like, what? Someone poured water on me for no reason.
Take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though. So I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance cards.
I knew we should have gone through the boxes. I knew it.
After the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
She's gonna pour what? Someone poured water on me for no reason, and that's all I knocked him out. He just knocked out the Fatui agent.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably.
I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reading. Do we have to? Do we still have to? I think she explained it pretty well. How's he dissolved? The fact that she's not dissolved. What? How would Halsey would have reacted? Oh. Oh, bye, J-Wing. So we're gonna finish the trial. We're gonna call it for today.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between...
See, this is why I identified the important question from the beginning. Where did Halsey go? And it's like, if we just asked that from the beginning, we could have avoided so much of this. Wait, what? What am I doing now? On-stage accident. Meticulously designed prop. This doesn't work for that? No?
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue...
Aw, she looks really cute in this art.
Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cole
So
leaped into the tunnel, only to discover
having water poured on her head.
he did not know that Lillian was not Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way
This is so funny.
mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect. He tried to force Lillian back into the box.
Probably, Tommy.
The flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until
This is why we do a thorough search, guys. What events? All of it? All of these events. Everything that happens in this game, Cole.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
Wait, what? Literally how? She'd have to go invisible to do that. We were sitting there the whole time. What?
Ah, so that's the whole story. Bravo! Bravo!
Like, she literally just would have... What? We were sitting in front of the whole time. Like, that's some Skyrim Sneak 100 business.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No.
Oh my gosh, she is such a smooth brain.
Defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel.
Imagine being the god of justice. I mean, she's not a very good god of justice. We've established that.
If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground...
was a complete gooberino. Everyone involved here was complete gooberino.
From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
But guilty of espionage.
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated...
Okay, so yes, he is going to mention that.
...can be handed over to the oratories to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Okay, so Paimon useless. Navi is pretty great though.
Thank you so much.
Navi is the one person here with a brain.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
Oh, is he also this? Oh my God, the police are in on it. The police are in on it. Why did he need a magic robot to make the final decision? Because the magic robot generates magic energy from the decision.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
What? What? Just what? Coupon Town? Huh? What does that mean?
I was just following orders. We were supposed to
Yes, that also.
and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher ups said this
Oh, so Cowell and the Fatui are actually innocent. The higher ups. Who's the higher ups?
Water have been revealed. You have become a liability to said higher ups, yes?
Yeah, never say just I was just following orders. That never sounds good.
And seek the protection of the gods.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this
It's also a drug?
now and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss.
Who's the boss? Oh? He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have
An outrageous
Wow. Sucks to be born in Fontaine, huh?
Please submit to inspection immediately.
Did he just have like a hat with some water in it?
So, we're just going back now?
You didn't think of the Star Rail comparison, huh? Oh, with the ticket. The problem seems to have been solved for now.
Paimon, please wait. I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
Yeah, we don't even want to look at Lenny.
Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that
I just don't want to see anyone be falsely accused.
But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave?
The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Who's that? Is that the lady with the... Oh wait, is that Arlecchino?
And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past, back when our parents first died.
Like, holy shit, this is a long cutscene too.
Wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic.
This is a long ass Archon quest. Archon quests usually take like 2 hours.
I took my sister through several streets until
We've spent like 4.5 hours on this and we're not even close.
To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular.
Imagine naming your group the Fools. I think that's the point.
Our next meal would come from for a time. But I
It's very meaningful, Cole. Wasn't the last one? Yeah. That's why I said it's like 5 hours already.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was
It's
really
because like the sages, there's a line in the first Fatui trailer where it's like the sages believe themselves all knowing, but only we know the truth, and so like the meaning is like the wise people are the fools, and the fools are the wise people, the true wise people. It has that kind of meaning.
Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
The people that the world recognizes as wise are the real fools, and thus it is better to be a fool. Because in that there is the real wisdom.
Just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet.
Wait.
I discovered that
So is Arlecchino like...
the same return vehicle as me.
What is with Arlecchino's... So what is Arlecchino's gender?
I waited a long
Is
time
Arlecchino
until
actually a
she returned
dude?
home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no.
Oh.
He was gonna...
Oh wow, Genshin's getting dark here.
But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
So is Arlecchino just gender fluid?
That's right. She had rescued my
They
sister
keep
before she could come
referring her to her as both he and him.
Several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
And she identifies as father.
Might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
The knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
Plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
I'm sure that's what her plan is.
In that prophecy too?
That's right.
Uh-huh.
The House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
The person that was described as she doesn't have a sane bone in her body, just has the nation's best interests at heart.
Today's case has also
I'm
proven
sure.
that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that problem.
I'm sorry, but I still can't completely trust you.
The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me.
I wouldn't have... Is Arlecchino really from Fontaine? That's a little suspicious. It's a Gnosis. Don't worry about it, Cole. Okay, well, that seems like a good spot to leave it for today. Like, holy cow, that was long. Alright, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in today. We'll be streaming more Baldur's Gate with Rishi tomorrow. And then next week we'll be back, probably continuing this game. Trying to finish this quest next week will be the goal. So until then, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night and a wonderful weekend. Thank you all for being here once again, and have a good night. Good night, everyone. Good night.